So I'm glad to see the amendments come through. I think Councillor Park's amendment was good, and I think my amendment to look at further consultation with current and former workers in the industry and really get a sense of what would enhance their safety, what do they think would help, and what would sort of reduce the harms to workers who are working in these particular businesses is really important. So I'm not sure exactly what those changes will be. I don't know what's going to come out of that consultation, but I think it's really important that we start talking directly to the people who are working in those industries to get their feedback on what kind of changes they'd like to see. I think the consultation we did and the changes we made were good, but I think there's an opportunity to improve, and it's specifically around how we're engaging with current and former workers who are actually on the ground working in these industries.
And based on what we've heard so far, it'd be reasonable to expect they're going to ask you to remove that no-touch rule. Are you willing to look at that?
I am personally, yeah. I think we have to listen really carefully to the people who work in the businesses, and you know, if that's something that they are unified in terms of their desire to change it. I don't know if that means removal or if there's some kind of modifications to it. Maybe it's a modification around the enforcement and penalties. I don't know exactly what will come out of it, and I think it's important to not presuppose, first of all, that all the workers are going to agree on what they think is going to improve safety. There might be some really practical things that are not controversial that come out of that consultation. I imagine, based on the kind of feedback we heard from stakeholders we were consulting, that is going to be an issue. I think it's going to be a live issue all the time, but we operate within certain provincial and federal legislation, and I think we have to keep that in mind, right? What can we actually change? What can we not change? And what's going to maybe actually reduce harms versus seem like it's going to reduce harms and perhaps to have unintended consequences. So I think we have to be really careful about how we approach this issue, and I think the first step is really talk to the people who actually work in the businesses, get their feedback, and go from there.